Okay, family and friends, here we are with a 2020 Ford Transit 350 XLT passenger van, and it came back from our Turo fleet. Turo is a great spot if you're looking for some passive income, where you can rent your vehicle out. People will drive it around, bring it back full of gas, mostly clean, mostly undamaged, and in exchange they pay you money. And it's a great way to have somebody working for you, i.e. your vehicle, without you having to go be there working with it. So this one came back because it essentially ran out of AC. The front AC works, no problem, but the rear AC, which powers all these overhead air vents, as well as the lower air vents, is not working. So we got to get it figured out. And as I went online to figure out how to solve this problem, there wasn't a single video out there that showed the entire process start to finish. So I thought I would offer this as a departure from my usual content on Superb-Intendant to show you how this is done, right? So you'll notice I have a couple of grab bars that have popped out. This is notorious with these Ford Transit. They're not, it's not great, these plastic things, but you can solve that by getting a pair of pliers or even a zip tie and pull on this like that, and that'll lift that up, and you can move the seat out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move out this seat here, which is the twin seat here, and to get to the blower, which is behind this panel here, I got to remove this seat. And so that's a hex torque bolt there, and then another torque here. I think it's a 50. I hope it's a 50 because that's the biggest one I have. If not, I'm gonna have to get creative. But either way, this one is bolted in, so we got to unbolt this one and lift it up and out to get to the blower, which is located right below this seat. There's the wheel well there, and right under here is where that blower is, and here's the vent pipe, if you will, right here, that's taking it up in and around. So, all right, I'm gonna set up my camera here so we can see it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay. First things first, we're going to pull this seat up. You just push forward after you pull up on those. And that's going to lift this up. And then what I always do is grab it here and just pull it out backwards like that. That'll get it up and out. And then to get it out of the way, I just lift it up and over this bench in front of it. These are heavy, so be careful. Now, to address this bad boy. Now, I think this is a 50. So I went to the hardware store that will remain unnamed unless they want to give me a sponsorship. I'll just say for now that it rhymes with Some Repo. All right. And I'm going to check and see if this fits first and foremost. Bingo, it does. So that's a 50. It's good to know. Right. Put that there. like that. Bada bing, bada boom. Comes right out. Amazing. So, again, this is the 50 Torx bit. Pulled that right out. I'm going to put that here for now. And I'm going to remove this headrest so I can get to this a little bit easier. Just press on the clamps on the side to lift that out. That's elementary, but again, if you're new to this do-it-yourself thing, I don't want to take any of that for granted. So this is where the seatbelt, the over-shoulder seatbelt strap is strapped in. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. And just be careful. This one has a free flow. Like, I don't know what they call this exactly, but it's basically a washer. It's a thick washer. I'm sure there's a name for this, but that will fall if you let it, so don't. Okay, and that's removed. And then there's another. Apparently. Okay. And there's the other one there. We need to get to that. It's a long one. And now this should just lift it. Alright, look at that. Just lifts right up now. Let's put this on the top. I won't put this one over top because it's got that belt taped to it, and I'm going to do all that. So I'm just going to set it over here. Do just fine. Good. Okay. Now you left me a bottle of water, and it's unopened, so that's good. Use that. These, you can see already, you can see all the dust on there. Let's see about cleaning that later. Nice. Someone also left me a bagel, cream cheese. Right. Now this panel sits in behind here and comes out. But to get this out, you got to get this off first. So the first thing we're going to do, clear this area. Take our Torx bits and whatnot. That off. Let's put it in here for now. Okay. We want to remove this cover so that we can remove this panel to get access to the motor. So I'm going to get my flathead screwdriver. I actually have a trim kit remover, so I'm going to grab that. That way you don't damage the goods. And you know, this is a 5-pack Pro Car Removal Tool. This is great so you don't wreck the trim rivets. Let's form that. The whole thing's together when you pull it out. And this is very cheap, like $10 tops on Amazon. Okay, I'm just going to use this to get in here. Pop that out. That's one. That's two. 3. 4. Okay. Now, this should lift right out. Here's a quarter. It's nice to get paid. Oh, now I see. Those were bolted in a bit too. So, all right, we'll address that later. Just be careful. See what I just did. We're all learning here. Some of these are actually bolted in from underneath. So what I should have done was unscrew the. These look like little hexes. I should have unscrewed those from here before lifting that out. So now I'm going to have to come in with some epoxy and just glue that back together so that these stay put. But I noticed that this was also done back here. So it's good. I'll have the opportunity to repair this. But anyway, don't do that. Don't lift it off. So underneath that pop out, underneath these pop outs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one that didn't pop out, there are, looks like 8mm hex bolts that need to come out. So, know that. Oh, and I found a quarter, so more money. Let's see if I can get this off. I can. So, isn't that cool? The size of the end of your screwdriver, if you have a ratchet screwdriver, fits exactly to unscrew these. So I'm going to do that now. So I have them off, and then I'm going to place these back inside of that later with some epoxy, so it'll strap down again like it's supposed to. Again, this is why I'm doing this video. I didn't realize these were under here, and nowhere in any of the previous videos that I researched to figure out how to do this did they say that this was in here to have to address. Now, I probably should have known that there would be something, but it just shows you it helps to have had, it would have helped to have had a complete video to show how to do this, so that you don't make those kinds of faux pas. Move this back up and out of the way. Not there, please. All right. Now, did what it needs to do. Now we need to get this off. So behind this seal here is a little gap, which you can reach under and pull. There we go. Just pull right out. left it in here. And that's probably why the motor failed. It's like any air conditioning system. It's got to be able to breathe, right? So here's that panel, back side. You see I was able to pull these off without breaking those. That's very important. They're also cheap to get on Amazon if you do, but it's a hassle if you're in the middle of a project like this and that happens. Alright. Now, I don't want to have to undo this seatbelt. So I'm going to do my best. Well, I'll just lift it out. Good. Let's ride out. Okay, and I can already see the power attachment there. So we're getting down to brass tacks here. So let's see, holding it in there. So put that up. Whoops. Get into here. Incidentally, I'll say, in regards to renting vehicles in Turo, this is why you want to be able to do things yourself, because people are going to drive these vehicles because they're not their vehicles. They're not treating them necessarily the way you would, and when there's a mess, they don't get it. That's all baked in, but purposes of revenue, you want to be in position to, there we go, and there's our motor. You want to be in position to make a profit, and very quickly the realities, if you will, of people using the vehicles, long trips, etc., that's going to ultimately lead to damage, but also routine maintenance. You're going to need to make routine maintenance and repairs just because of normal use. So keep that in mind, and definitely use opportunities like this to make a profit, to make and keep your business profitable. You've got to make money to stay in business, and normally you can do that is if you can save on costs. So to be able to do this kind of thing yourself is critical to your ability to make money in a business like this. So there you go. All right. All right, so now that we're in here, I'm going to give you a close-up so you can see. Here's our motor, okay, and this is the rear evaporator, and just looking inside here, You can see it's pretty dirty. So I think I may shop vac this to just get it cleaned up and have it blowing the best. But before I do any of that, I'm gonna get this motor out. So you can see there's 3 bolts. There's one here, well, screws really, and then right here, okay? So those are your 3 access points to pull out this motor. I have the spare, and we'll pull this out and take a look. So I'll set you back up over here. And I'll get to unscrewing those. I think that's a 20 Torx bit. So. Let's get our 20 Torx bit and see. I'm right. P20. It is. And that was in an odd angle. I don't want to strip it, so I'm going to use my ratchet screwdriver so I can finesse that a little bit and not risk causing strip on this. I need that. So this one's here. Just torque it on out. Engineering on that is pretty damn close. Good God. All right, here we go. Now this should pull right out. And of course, power supply is here. So we're going to disconnect that. That. And again, I just got this on Amazon. Look at that. Bam. Okay. Fits up nice. Everything looks like it's in order. Should fit up exactly. There we go. So I need to disconnect the zip ties they've used to hold the power supply in place. And to do that, I'm going to get myself a fresh blade for my knife, because one I have is very, very dull, and what I don't want to do is have a dull blade and pull too hard. That's a life lesson for anybody unfamiliar with the use of blades and knives. You don't want to cut with a dull blade. More accidents happen with dull blades than sharp. You want it as sharp as possible because you get a clean cut with minimal exertion, which helps you have more control. So, you can see there's zip tied right here. Just be careful to get underneath the tie and not get the cord itself. Just do the pressure. Boom, one. Here you can't see it, but you will when you open it up. You'll see these. Again, being careful not to cut into the power supply cable itself. It's also another trick I was taught. You can use pliers to pinch the little square that end goes into, and that will release the end to the other side. Just cutting that cable. Can you imagine doing all this and then, actually I see a spot from this angle that I can get to it without. There we go. Let's see the clips on here. So useful to see how it goes off. So that is pretty dirty. I think while I'm here, I'm going to do it, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and take the cover off of this. And see about cleaning the formula. Actually, the truth is, it doesn't look too bad. I see it now. Let's do the first things first. Let's make sure that this motor solves the problem. So we're going to give it a test. If the problem truly was the motor, this bad boy is going to kick on when I turn the ignition. So, cross your fingers. On one. So great. Here's two. Here's three. And here's high power on four. Oh, wait a minute. Guess it doesn't anymore. Let's go back to 2. 1. Turn it on.
What that's saying to us is that there aren't any bad fuses, the relays are fine, and it truly was a bad motor. So, that happened. Now we're just going to put everything back in reverse order. So, this is going to go in, and we both those 3 screws in. We're going to go ahead and put the panel back up over. We're going to rehang the seatbelt assembly and then reattach the cover there. Replace all of your rivets, if you will. Last, we're going to put that back piece back in place. And you've got rear AC again. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell. Superb-Intendant at it again.